say, and you like that idea of finding out the maps for the first time, don't come to play the game today, and don't come to play the game over the next 2 weeks, because we're going to be delving into some stuff that you may not want to immediately know. The second reason I'm here, and the main reason that we have what we have, is to circumnavigate the bullshit and provide you with the truth so that you can better inform other community members. We're very privileged to have this information in advance, and I really do use the word privilege because at no point am I arrogant in saying that we deserve this information. In fact, I'm not sure we do. We love the Call of Duty community. We really love, I don't really wear these bags, the Call of Duty Zombies community, and my entire purpose at this current juncture in our community is to give you correct, valid, and informed, not only information but opinions as well, because that's very important. We spend an awful lot of time at Play the Game saying that this person is shit, this person is rubbish, this guy is really good, this guy gives you good information. And I'm going to turn off my phone. The reason I do that, and you might think, well, I'm just being an utter dick, basically, I want to... is the chat gone down? I think it's back up, we'll see. Let me just test. I think it's okay. Okay? Yeah, so we say, this guy's bad, this guy's good, and whatever. But the only reason we do that is because once upon a time, this community had standards. And those standards are really, really appreciated by Treyarch, believe it or not. And so we're here to uphold those standards. So if we say someone's shit, we'll say it, but we'll say why they're shit. And improve. If you're not here to improve, what the fuck are you doing? There are so many channels just literally pouring out mindless bullshit. Thank you so much. We do not need more of you. This community has standards, and I'm here to enforce these fucking standards. Not just me, there are a few community members who've been picked to help do this, but I'm here to inform and give you correct information regarding what's happening next. That's all I'm going to say. Right. For those of you who are sharing with me on the Play the Game chat, and I hope you are all logged into both this live stream on one page and the Play the Game forum, which is going to be slightly more useful for you in the next couple of weeks, believe me on that. I'm going to be linking you a post that I'm about to start. In this post, what I'm going to be doing is going through some of your questions, answering some. If I can't answer some, I won't, and that's not because Treyarch have told me not to answer them. It's because I don't know, because lots of things change. There are continuously moving parts when it comes to things like maps. Even up until now, where the map is literally still being tested, it's not being created anymore, but it's being tested, and things change even at this late stage. So some things, if I'm not sure about, like if someone asks me about glitches, that's useless information. We don't really support glitches. It depends what you define as glitches, but we don't support that here particularly. So I'm not going to be answering questions like that. The other questions I'm not going to answer today, but I might take a look at in latter weeks, is what happens after Mob of the Dead, because that's particularly important. So this session with you guys and me today is devoted to Mob of the Dead and to fielding some of your questions to me, for which I will give you information on this thread on Play the Game, and I will make this now. So give me just 30 seconds more and we will be underway. Sorry guys. Chat amongst yourselves. How the fuck do the tags work here? Is it my own website? Commas, right. For those of you who follow Play the Game on Twitter, this will also be linked there, but I'll link it in the chat on the forum. Of the Dead. How it works, we'll call it for now. Subject to change. I was going to say How It's Made. I love that program. Do you watch How It's Made? Brilliant program. Right. That's pretty good to me. I'm just going to quickly log in. Am I going to do that? Yeah, I'll do that. Okay. Let me just create this first so you know where it is. Okay, right now you should be getting a discussion going live on the forum, as I said, and this is where I'm going to be fielding some of these questions. Now, while you just get to grips with that, I need to Skype call with the voluptuous Charlie Warren, and I apologise for that bleeping. Can I alter that? No, I cannot. Yes, I do want these questions. Fuck you, you fucking piece of shit. Can you put them in the other thread? Cool. Shh. Sweet. Fucking text messages. Right. Hopefully Charlie Warren gets that. Charlie's been asking for your questions, and I'm going to show you how you can do that. So, sorry, if you're on the main channel chat right now, I'm literally linking the topic right now so that you can actually see where it is, and that's important because you're going to need to see that. I'm going to be talking you through it as well, so don't worry, it's not going to be completely boring. I know a lot of people would find this kind of thing boring, but as I said, that's fine. This can be boring. I'm here to inform you, and I hope you appreciate it. And thank you. I know there's a couple of guys from NGT here today. Welcome to Play the Game. Seriously, there's like no hard feelings at all because you're not even in that level where I give a shit. But welcome and improve. Seriously improve. I'd also like to mention that there is one guy here from Treyarch, so must be careful on what we say, mustn't we? Yes. So, and we will be careful on what we say. So, because there is just very specific things that we need to get through. So, right. Let me get Charlie's thing up, and we can start answering some of your gorgeous questions. Now, this thread will grow because I'm not only going to be filling these questions today, but I'm going to be going back to it and filling you like screenshots, things I saw obviously in the trailer. We've all seen it now, and that's fairly boring. There are some things that I know Chris made a really good video about the trailer, and I hope you've all seen that on Play the Game. A couple of things he missed which are quite important, and I'm going to go back to them. A lot of people think that the skull tables are to do. I'm going to get through this in a minute, but the skull tables, a lot of people think that they're building tables, kind of acquisition for parts to build this big thing that I'll mention later. Actually, they're not. They're not what everyone thinks they are. So they're literally just there for mise-en-scene. They're there just to add a creepy sense of wunder, if you want to call it that, to everything. Right, let me see your questions. And Warren hasn't done this in any way useful. Brilliant. This is so unhelpful, it's unbelievable. Right, let's have a look. Yeah, see already I'm getting questions that are useless, like how will this end? I don't know how this will end because Treyarch don't know how this will end. And what I can say on questions like that is that they don't end with Call of Duty Black Ops 2, which is important. What is the third map? Things like that I'm not going to be talking about either in this, at least anyway. So we're going to get through these pretty quick. Okay, right, I've got some questions. Let's open up this thing again and we will start dissecting these questions. Okay, questions from the community. Okay, let's start. Okay, let's go with how are there zombies at Alcatraz? How are the zombies at Alcatraz? That's more simple than a lot of people seem to think. Now, as you may have seen with these zombies, they are essentially trapped in... it's actually not barbed wire, it's called razor wire, and we don't have much of it in the UK. We do have some, but it's called razor wire. And it's a particularly unpleasant thing that surrounds the majority of Alcatraz. So when this happened at Alcatraz, the majority of the inmates obviously corrupted. They became those entities, the zombies, and it doesn't kind of matter if you know how zombies work. They run through anything. These are inmates, as you can see in their dress. They are inmates, or were inmates of Alcatraz, and it doesn't just end with the inmates. In fact, as you can see in the first section, now that's not the Warden. A lot of people think that is the Warden. It's actually not the Warden. It's in the opening cinematic. This probably will come up again, but in the opening cinematic for Alcatraz, what you do is you're getting ready to escape Alcatraz. You're literally getting ready to leave as this band of 4 people, and you move through the cell block, and you take out this guard, this kind of guard who, well, he wasn't paying attention, let's say, and you take him out, and then you continue moving through the cell block, and then you find that he's got up again. He's now standing up, and he does that whole thing like that, where he does that, and then comes for you. And at that time, you are literally surrounded. Actually, 2 of you, I can't remember how it was, 2 or I think 3 maybe eaten. So unfortunately, everyone dies in the beginning opening cinematic, which makes for a very interesting beginning on round 1 of Mob of the Dead. So how are there zombies at Alcatraz? These zombies. Okay, how are there zombies at Alcatraz? The zombies that are currently at Alcatraz range from inmates to prison guards, with exceptions granted to the zombies that spawn on the Golden Gate Bridge, which are neither, which is fairly important as well. I think I'm going to choose mine as green. That's quite nice. There is... no, that's enough for that question. I'll come back to that kind of thing. Right. Should be able to seal this now. Right, let's find another one. Okay. Yeah, I thought I was going to get this question. When I originally heard about Alcatraz, the immediate thing you do is go to Google, Alcatraz, what the fuck happened, and then you find out that there's just so much theory, like, not theory as in like legit theory, as in bullshit theory, and you have to kind of wade through it. So there's a guy here who's asking a question which sounds a little bit like this. What does the Warden's house, Building 64, and solitary confinement, possibly number 14, have to do with Mob of the Dead? And then he links a ghost site. You should be seeing this on the questions page. Unfortunately, nothing. It's got actually nothing to do with Call of the Dead. The Warden's office, and I'll get on to the makeup of the map soon. There's one thing that you don't know, which is where the perks are. And there's one hint in the trailer, which is the red room, which you should understand. But there's no one actually hinting as to where the perks are. The Warden's office, the name is subject to change as well by the time it comes out, is actually where Speed Cola is, and no one knows that yet, so you're the first people to know where Speed Cola is, that is for sure. But in there, it's a very, very fucking creepy room that I can't remember if you saw it in the trailer. You'll see it in the next trailer, which is on Sunday, which is also very important because, again, that hasn't been announced. You know, there's this shitty competition going on with Treyarch at the moment. It's some sort of Call of Duty competition thing. It's happening mid-season, mid-game, during one of those, so that's important as well, to definitely watch that, and that'll be the full Mob of the Dead trailer, which I really do suggest you go and watch. The conspiracies and ghost stories surrounding Alcatraz range in their lucidity and witness counts. The Warden's house has no real crossover to Mob of the Dead. Instead, we find a room dedicated to the Warden. And please remember that, you know, the Warden, this is something that is sitting with a lot of people right now. The Warden doesn't exist to the wider community. No one knows about it. We told you first. We were the only people on Earth, I don't know on Earth, but definitely in the community, other than Treyarch obviously, to know about this, and that's quite important as well. Right, let's wipe that on. That's pretty damn good, I think. Cool. Right, let's move on. What is the Wunderweapon? I'm glad you asked what it is and not what it's called, because if you know anything about Die Rise and you know what the sound files are, you'll know that within the last 3 days, I think it was 3, maybe longer than that, the Wunderweapon changed its name. So I'm glad you're asking what it is rather than what its name is, because I could tell you its name is Lax is an utter cunt, and then in a week's time it's changed to he's just a fucking wanker. So you know it doesn't that doesn't really matter. But I'll answer what the Wunderweapon actually is, because it's fairly important actually, especially if you're looking to do the Easter egg. And the Wunderweapon's augmented side will be shown in the trailer on Sunday during that thing I talked about, the COD Championship. So you'll be seeing the augmented. I don't think you see the original version, which is like a line gun, but a lot of people think it's like Doom 2 shotgun. It's not. Well, it feels like it, but it's actually a line gun. Whereas the augmented version is going to be shown in the that thing I was talking about, but it's going to be the acid version. So that's the augmented version of the original version. Not very important, but it's nice to define between the two. Because that isn't the only thing that weapon does. In fact, I think that that's the inferior thing that weapon does, which I always wondered why they would show the inferior kind of objective. But there you go. So what is the Wunderweapon? There it is. The weapon included in Mob of the Dead has 2 unique purposes. Unlike the I'm going to call them zap guns because that's what people. That's actually not what they're referred to, but fine. Unlike the zap guns on moon, the augmented version cannot be, what would you say, it can't be undone? It's not really clear. The augmented version can't be, well I suppose it cannot be undone, yeah I suppose. Once the upgrade is complete, the player with that upgrade cannot change back to its previous incarnation, because I like that, incarnation. Very good. So let me actually tell you what it does. I shouldn't have actually called it a wonder weapon. I'm going to call it a special weapon. Cool. Okay. Its first thing. First thing it does is the first version of the weapon is used like a classic line gun. It feels more like an original FPS shotgun. When I'm talking about that, I'm talking about games pre 96. So yeah, the second augmented version of the gun. I can't believe people are watching this. Thank you so much. I thought everyone would just say this is shit, I'm going, but this is good. Second augmented version of the gun acts similarly to the awful Warden. However, unlike the awful, fucking hell, words, Lawton, it fires acid darts. That sounds mental. You have to wait till Sunday to see what I mean, but it really does actually do that, which is very cool. Again, no one knows any of this yet, so this is quite cool to be literally the first people to tell you. In fact, we did actually tell you this before, but Activision didn't like that, so that's why we're doing this on Play the Game, because it's important to us to get this information to you, but there are some fuckheads at Activision who really have no idea what's going on with this, so that's fair dues. Okay. Who is the Warden? This guy asked a lot of questions. This is Aaron Cabot. I don't know who the fuck that is, but he's asking some good questions. So who is the Warden? Let me answer that now. Who is the Warden? Actually, who is the Warden, he said. So, who is the Warden? The Warden, let me explain to you guys first. The Warden, I mean, you know who the Warden is. He's the Warden of Alcatraz. That's unimportant because he's got about as much storyline in him as George Romero did in Call of the Dead. So it's not very important because I don't know who he is. So I mean, it's just the Warden. That's it. But what's interesting is what he does, what he represents, and why he is there, and all that stuff is really important. This light is really weird. I don't know if it's better there. Can't tell. I look very old from here. Yeah, the Warden spawns in two ways. Now, one of the ways he spawns we won't mention right now, but I will. Will I mention? Fuck it, I will. The first way that the Warden spawns is when you overuse the box, the mystery box. Now, it's kind of Treyarch's way of trolling you. He is essentially a massive troll, but not like George Romero was, because I don't find the idea of the Warden annoying at all, whereas George Romero had that kind of continuous drone, and it was just awful. I don't think he was particularly useful. I'm going to wait till the connection picks back up. Sorry, hi, you back. As George Romero, just writing this down so that I should get it down and improve. Okay, so the Warden, what does he do? He spawns when you hit that mystery box too many times. And what he does when he spawns at Alcatraz, because remember that's not the only place that we're going to be, when he's doing that, he is essentially, he's moving towards you, but at the same time, he is just ruining fucking everything. Like, he can lock down, we say lock down areas of Alcatraz, but what I mean by that is that he can lock perks, so that when you next time you go up to the perk, you have to unlock the perk before you can buy it. And to unlock it, you have to spend, I can't remember how much to unlock it, but I can't remember off the top of my head. But you have to unlock the perk to get the perk. Same with the mystery box. You can lock the mystery box. If you're really being a twat like Warren and you're really rolling it, then he will lock that motherfucker, and that'll be the last time that you get to use it. So yeah, he is Treyarch's way of trolling the player. Let me just write this down. The Warden can do the following. Lock perk machines, lock the mystery box. He actually smashes all the windows, smashes all the glass panels in Windows, and I think when he hits you, you are I think you're one hit down without Juggernog, that might be wrong, and a 2 hit down with Juggernog. So that is that. The grammar in this might be appalling, but all of this shit is quite useful. So. Right, for those of you who are late, there is a topic on playthegame.com/forum/topics/mob of the dead, with little dashes in between them, which I hope someone will link you, and you will be able to see what we're doing. We're kind of building a picture for you from the questions that were asked earlier today and the questions that are still being asked. And I'm going to be building a picture for you today for about an hour and a half. Then I'm going to leave this, and hopefully you'll be able to kind of look over what I've said and really sink in. And because all this stuff is really important, so I hope you understand that. Now then, okay, there's a question here. There's 3 questions here because he's already asked that question once. There's 3 questions here which I'm going to very briefly go over. What happened to Vril technology? I hope that what he means by Vril is the VR11, in which case all I can say right now and not next week is that that technology is future-proof. Where is Shangri-La? It's in the Himalayas. It's not on Mars. It's not anywhere. It's actually on Earth. It's not even in a continuum. It's on Earth, and that's it. In fact, only one map is in a continuum. The rest aren't. And that's unique. And what is the new wonder weapon? Well, I've just told you what the new wonder weapon is. What happens in Purgatory? By 115. Right, let's answer Purgatory questions. I don't know if you guys can promote this page as well. let's answer your purgatory questions. Now, with purgatory, from what I understand now, it's not the same as it was when it was first installed. That might not be true, so I'm not going to explain what it might be now, but I'm going to explain what it was and what it still does and how you activate it, because it is important. But essentially, it's the difference between, what I'm talking about is the difference between spawning with it literally active, flowing through your veins already, and then the other option, which was discussed, and I don't know whether it's introduced, is whether it's actually a viable perk, which would suck. There are so many implementations and issues with it being a viable perk that I really hope it's not a viable perk, but I can't confirm that for you right now. But give me a couple of days and I will confirm it for you. But I'm going to discuss what it does right now, because as I said, no one knows what this does. This is the first time that you're going to be hearing this as well, live here on Play the Game. So, Purgatory. Oh, no, wait. What happens in Purgatory? Right. First of all, another thing I wanted to clear up about Purgatory. It's not a place. I've seen a few comments on, even on our videos, asking how do you get to Purgatory, because these people are confused with it, because obviously Purgatory is a place in Catholic and Christian religion. Purgatory is a place you go to until you have fulfilled your quota, but renounced your sins, when you can move on to either hell or heaven. But that's nothing to do with how Purgatory works. You can't go to, well, you could go to Purgatory, but it doesn't work like that. So, interestingly, when you spawn into Mob of the Dead, you spawn already in Purgatory mode. I don't know whether this is a good thing to type, because I really hope they still do that. This is the first time that a new effect has been introduced at round 1. However, it has serious connotations to the storyline of Mob of the Dead. And I'm going to put in other brackets, not the zombies storyline. Very important, you guys that play the game, you should know that the storyline of Mob of the Dead and the storyline of Call of the Dead genuinely don't have that much or anything in common, other than the fact that the Easter egg in Call of the Dead was to send the characters through to paradise. It doesn't have any other connotations to the main storyline, which we love to focus on here at Play the Game. So please don't confuse the Alcatraz storyline with the storyline that we've seen with, Misty, Russman, Stula and Journal. It's nothing to do with that. So please refrain from getting them confused. Purgatory is this. Purgatory is the following. When you down yourself, or are downed in Mob of the Dead, you become a ghost. Literally. This differs greatly from the now well-known Who's Who Perk mode. Who is from the well-known Who's Who Perk mode. In one unique way. In two unique ways. Sorry, it's not two. In two ways. It's because they're not unique. In two ways. The first difference between the two. Oh, actually, Purgatory isn't a perk. I wonder if I put two perks. Would you know what I mean? Between. I type this every fucking time. Who's Who and Purgatory is that when your life as a ghost is over in Purgatory, you die. you die for that round, if you know what I mean, not dying and the whole game's over. In Who's Who mode, if your life as a Who's Who ghost, it's not a ghost, but if your life was a Who's Who, you know what I mean, if your life as a ghost expires, then you spawn into. So I'm reading what they're putting there. Okay, I don't know what the fuck they're saying. If your life as a Who's Who ghost expires, then you spawn back into the current round. The other asset that Purgatory grants is the ability to, I want to say teleport, but I can't guarantee if it's that, to move zombies how the fuck do you spell that? Telekinetically. Fucking hell, this is bullshit. Who invented that fucking word? This will grant your player the chance to revive him. I was going to put herself, but there's no hers. With ease. Do not be fooled! Purgatory. No, while you are still in Purgatory, you still have the ability to get downed. If you move too close to a zombie, they will swing and you will down in the same time as round 1 health. That's it. I hope that makes sense. I really fucked up the spelling of telekinetically. Fucking hell. Jesus Christ, that's an ugly fucking word. There it is! Auto fucking correct did it for me, right. Okay, so I am going to give this to you. I love this green. Save. So now guys, go and have a look at that. That was probably very hard for you to understand. And I do apologise because I'm trying to encapsulate this into a post so that you can always come back to it and know that it's legit and it was always here and it was made by me right now. Which is why it's probably spelling mistakes. I will go over this and redefine things for you. I'll add pictures so that it makes it easier to read for Chris. Let's move on with the questions. Will there be any more DLC weapons? I'm going to change that question. No, I'm not. When you were in that private chat the other day, guys, I'd like you to re-inform the other people. I don't want this to go into the video because it's not real. But those of you who remember the difference between magma and molten, could you please inform the rest of the chat the difference and what I said about the camo. But what I'm going to change that question to is, are there new weapons in Mob of the Dead that haven't been shown in the trailer? Because there are, and I'm going to be showing you them right now. And someone just asked me, do perma perks return? I think they do, yes. Right, let me... What weapons are new in Mob of the Dead? Mob of the Dead grants the players access to 3 previously unused zombies weapons in, I know, Call of Duty Black Ops 2. I was saying that because someone keeps saying the Thompson. We've had the Thompson. Stop saying it's new. For fuck's sake, shut the fuck up. I know about the Thompson. Kinda used it like a billion fucking times. So shut the fuck up. Jesus, you were so not on the level. Right, okay. Sorry about that. That was a little freak. The first is the typewriter Thompson, otherwise known as the Tormer gun. The second is the Call of Duty Black Ops 1 skinned Uzi, which doesn't make sense. It's completely. I'm going to wait a second for the. It says I've got a bad connection. Hello again, if a good connection has come back. Hopefully you can hear me now. No, it's going bad again. Can you hear me now? Can you see this? All good? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay, thank you. Yeah, the Black Ops 1, the second weapon will be the Black Ops 1 skinned Uzi. Now, I know a lot of people realise that that's nowhere near the correct time zone, but when has Treyarch ever been in the correct time zone? I apologise, that's incorrect. I'm going to rephrase what I just said. When has Treyarch ever been recently correct with the time zone thing? So just ignore Treyarch's malfeasance, because you're not supposed to pay attention to that. Just get into the game. For fuck's sake, you've got the original Tommy gun. Stop asking about the Uzi. And finally, and probably the best weapon in Call of Duty Zombies is Mob of the Dead, is the brand new entry to Call of Duty Black Ops 2 and Call of Duty Black Ops Zombies franchise as a whole. Let me just make sure I've got that correct. I have. Is the AK-47, which is fucking cool. So that is the first time that that's been said other than a troll video. So I am now saving that, so you'll be able to see my answers to that question as well. By the way, you're going to like the Pack-a-Punch version of the Uzi, because I think you know what I mean. It's going to be pretty cool. It's just excited. Okay, let's get through a few more questions. Now then, I'm going to answer that after you've seen the trailer. There's a question here from Emin Agent, who's Irish, I believe. See, I know my fucking community. Will the nav card table exist in Alcatraz? Now, there's a very, very important part of the upcoming trailer that I want you all to see before we rejoin and do this again. Don't worry, I'll tell you when it will be. And I want you to see it before I answer that, because there's a very specific reason that the nav card tables are where they are. Like, not only in the maps that they are, but where they're positioned in the maps that they are. They're always under or next to under something very important. And so when you see what you see in Alcatraz, which you will see on Sunday, hopefully, if you tune in, then I'm going to answer that question maybe on Monday night, which would be quite cool, because you still won't know what it does, and I will tell you then. Does the new map have longevity? I'm not going to write this down because it doesn't pertain specifically. The new map does have longevity. In fact, what I could do is this. I'm going to explain to you right now how Alcatraz plays through, because no one has done that yet. The objective of Mob of the Dead. I really hate calling it that. I'm going to call it Alcatraz. I really can't stand calling it that. I've always known it as Alcatraz, and I don't like. It's such a new thing that they've called it Mob of the Dead, so I'm just going to call it Alcatraz. So let's just get that. The objective is so. imagine this. You are one of 4 criminals who have been locked inside of Alcatraz Penitentiary. You are planning an escape from Alcatraz, believe it or not, considering that doesn't happen and it hasn't happened. You're planning an escape from Alcatraz. When the moment is right, you storm through the cell block and take out a guard. You pick up pace, I think you do, and move down the cell block, only to realise that the guard that you incapacitated is standing up. On closer inspection, sound like fucking Chris. On closer inspection, he is dead. Not within seconds, moments later, your entire operation is overthrown with hordes of the undead. First time you're hearing this, legit. Remember this. Remember where this came from, because sooner than later this is going to be everywhere and it's just going to be fucking annoying. When you enter Alcatraz, now let's make this more cinematic. The next time you see Alcatraz, you are not yourself. Is this too cryptic? No. In fact, you are a ghost. Alcatraz, this is important actually, in this time Alcatraz has changed greatly, which is really important because there's always something I wanted to see, which was the original dead bodies, but unfortunately they're not doing that. Has changed greatly. You return to your bodies. I hope this still happens. You return to your bodies and rejuvenate yourself into a working human. For the first time in zombies history, there is not only an Easter egg objective, but a campaign styled, not a campaign style, but a story driven, it's probably the objective. Your objective is to I can see the tryout guy is still here, by the way, so don't worry. I can see him right now on the members online on the forum. I don't know if he's on the thingy. But hello. I love you. Your objective is to collect many pieces of an aircraft. The aircraft is joined, for the first time you're ever going to be hearing this used, by oxygen tanks. and upon completion, nothing to do with the Easter egg. Not true. That's not the Easter egg. I retract that statement as well. Upon completion, you are able to leave Alcatraz Island. I was going to say a bit about the scripted scene that you get when you're actually in the plane, because it's not like you actually get to fly it or whatever. There's like a scripted scene, but the scripted scene depends on how many people are there. I think they've actually taken it out if there's only one of you flying. Just briefly, I'm not going to mention this right now. I don't think I haven't got time, but you don't have to take the. I'm going to wait until this comes back. Hello, sorry. Yeah, I was just saying that you don't have to take the plane as 4 people. It's not like Moon where you have to all get on the teleporter in order to use it. You can go one at a time. But I think if you go as 4 people, you get a scripted scene. But I think that there may be other ways of spawning it. I can't remember. You have to leave Alcatraz Island. When you enter the scripted scene for the aircraft. I don't know if it's an airplane. I don't know the difference between an airplane and an aircraft. How big does it need to be an airplane? Because I think if you use like Boeing 747s, and it's not that. It's like it's weeny little. I think it's just an aircraft. I don't know. I'll find out the actual word for it. I'm not good at that kind of thing. When you enter the scripted scene for the aircraft, you realise that you are incapable, let's just leave it as that, of flying anywhere other than the Golden Gate Bridge. The diamond, the crystal of San Francisco's harbour. Golden Gate Bridge. Upon arrival on the Golden Gate Bridge, you realise that you should never have left Alcatraz. The bridge is still under construction, and it is essentially a no man's land. An interesting thing with this whole airplane thing is that there was this original idea for the airplane that when I mentioned no man's land, then that's actually a reference to what it was before. Because when you took this airplane and you landed on the Golden Gate Bridge, you'd lose your perks as soon as you got into the airplane, and you'd become useless essentially, and you'd be a one-hit down. And when you hit the Golden Gate Bridge, not hit, when you land on the when you're there, you realise that you really, really fucking need Jug. No other time do you need Jug more than on the Golden Gate Bridge. It is a fucking shithole. Or it was a fucking shithole. So hopefully it's still a shithole. The Golden Gate Bridge has 2 unique facets. The first is that the Golden Gate, I hate doing this, Gate Bridge is the location of the Pack-a-Punch machine. The other unique fact is that it's the main spawn for the Warden. Now, it's very important that that was the other way. You may have remembered that I mentioned that there was 2 ways of spawning the Warden. The first is by spamming the box like an utter cunt, in which case he comes over and fucks you. Or when as soon as you land on the bridge, having not spawned in before, and remember you can get to the bridge at like round, probably as early as round 8. I know you definitely can get there as early as round 10, and that's kind of important as well. And getting there without previously ruining the box will grant you the Warden for the first time. So that's pretty cool. When you realise that, I'm going to wait to the connection. Okay. Okay. This is the most important part. Let me just make all this green so you guys can see it. Oh, I've spelled that wrong, have I? Rejuvenate? Oh, it's an E, I thought it was an I. Why is that saying that's incorrectly spelled? Right. When you realise that the golden... Oh, for fuck's sake, this fucking poor connection bullshit. Okay, I was just about to say that on the Golden Gate Bridge, once you realise that the Golden Gate Bridge is not what it first seems, you have to make a decision whether you want to stay there and fend off against the hordes of the undead and eventually die, as you always do, or whether you want to self-sacrifice using one of the 4 electric chairs that can be found on the bridge. Upon self-sacrification, if that's a word, you'll arrive back at Alcatraz as you did when you first spawned in. Now there was a question here about does this map have longevity, and I can truly say that the whole system of this almost story that plays out where you want to escape, you realise you can't, you die, you spawn in on round 1, work your way to building this aircraft to get you off, only to realise that not only can you not go anywhere other than the Golden Gate Bridge, but when you arrive there, it's even worse than fucking Alcatraz, and so you don't have to, but you pretty much self-sacrifice. That kind of system is amazing. Like, it's really addictive, and yes, this map has serious longevity. Unlike a Call of Duty map, almost of any Call of Duty maps, this map is, because of this one facet, this storyline that kind of re-implements itself continuously, it's kind of the most interesting map that is available, and that is pretty damn cool. So I hope I kind of explained that with that objective of Alcatraz, which I've just posted, obviously on the forums. And if you aren't looking at the forums, then I suggest you do, because this is going to be the one place that I do update, and I'm going to keep you updated. And also, this is the one place that Activision, not Treyarch, Activision, they can't get to me. So this is why I'm doing it here today. Right. Let's have a couple more questions, then I'm going to bust a groove. Let's get some good ones. Okay. Are we starting in the library? If not, where? No, you're not starting in the library. You're in fact starting in the cell blocks, and you should see that by now. I think you see that in the trailer anyway. But yeah, you don't start in the library. In fact, the library is a really pretty shit area. Okay. Now, this is the last question that I'm going to cover. In fact, is there another one that I could do before this? Okay, perks for... let me do a perk list quickly so you know. Shit, I don't know the grief ones. Because there's grief on Mob of the Dead in 2 areas. I don't know if they're introducing grief perks or if it's just going to be like a Purgatory spawn perk thing, so I can't answer that. I'll tell you ones that I know about. Juggernog, Double Tap, 2, yeah, 2. Speed Cola, and if you were here earlier, you'll know that Speed Cola is in the Warden's office. You should know who the other ones are because they're in the trailer anyway. Deadshot, pretty damn cool. Getting that back. PhD Troll. There's a stamina. What am I thinking? There's no quick revive. No quick revive. That's very important. Very important. Because you have Purgatory, so you don't need quick revive. And actually, they're trying to get rid of the revive perks because they're getting to this point, I think, Treyarch, where they've now had 3 revive perks in 2 maps. 2 maps amount of time they've had 3. And so I really don't think that they want to keep them in, so there's no quick revive. And what else was I talking about? That's it, I think. Can't remember. Perk list. Oh, there might be bloody stamina up, I really can't remember. But those are the ones. I'll have to find that out for you. And there was that last question I was going to quickly pry open. Before I bid you farewell, my beloved Play the Gamers. Speak could be a different green. Deadshot is grey as fuck. Okay, and the final thing I'm going to talk about today is a question from 115 again. He's now had 2. And his question is this. Oh shit, I've just fucked that. Fucking hell, there it is. No, that's better. No, it's done the wrong sodding fucking colour now. For fuck's sake, Chris. There we go. Okay. What does the demon give you after feeding it? Now, any of you who watched Lax's breakdown and play the game, you'll realise that he may have said a few things that you weren't originally aware of. I know it looks like a hellhound. It is technically the same thing, but they don't call it a hellhound, they call it a demon. And what does it do? Now, you kill zombies near it and it acts as a quota. So kind of like Moon when you're near the prism, and prism, not prison, and you're killing zombies to fill up your quota in those tanks. It's kind of like that you've never ever seen in zombies before. Now this is cool. The demon dog, if you want to call it that, I call it a demon, but you can call it what you want. Hellhound has a single, no, not a single purpose, it does something else, but I can't talk about that, has a unique purpose. Upon killing a specific, again we'll cover this in videos on Play the Game, quota of zombies in its locale, you are rewarded with a throwable. I'm not going to use the actual word because you should know this, because if you follow me on Twitter at Benn Down, which I'm going to put in here, you will already know this. A throwable primary weapon. No, throwable weapon, not tactical. That's, I'm kind of trolling you with that because I think you know what the answer is, but I'm just not going to tell you because I'm not feeling that nice anymore. That's kind of it for now, my loves, my leash. I'm going to save this. And so now everyone can go and see what I've just made on the thread. Obviously, guys, if you're new to play the game, then I'd appreciate it if you could share it. I don't mind if you share it with people. I really don't give a shit, to be honest. But promote it as well, because hit that promote button and it will go up. That's important. And again, like I said, there's going to be a trailer on Sunday, and a lot of this will be in that trailer. Some of it won't be in that trailer, so this stuff will still be unseen, a lot of this, until until the 16th, so it's going to be unseen for a long time. So this will be the only place you'll be able to get these facts for a very long time. And but watch the trailer on Sunday, be sure to see it. You know, if you haven't seen it on Call of Duty, watch it on YouTube, we'll cover it as well, don't worry. And then come back here at midnight on Monday, and I will show you something really fucking cool, something that I've never mentioned before, and I'll answer some more questions as well, but show you something, not just tell you things, show you something. So be back here on Monday at midnight my time, so an hour and 13 minutes ago from now, but on Monday. I hope you enjoyed this, guys, because I kind of enjoyed it, actually. I know it was a bit boring, but I hope you're actually getting quantifiable, truthful information that is objectively certain. So, and this is my reason for being here, and this is kind of my reason within the community now. I'm here to give you everything that you need to make valid